Well, good morning everybody. It's March the 8th, 2013. For today's project, since I've decided it's probably not going to freeze outside anymore, well, not this winter anyway, I'm going to move the chard that I've got in the aquaponics bin, the things that have survived from last year, up front into one of my reservoir bins so it can get lots of southern exposure over the course of the spring and the summer. Let's take a look at how I'm going to do that. What we have here are some of the smaller shards that I was harvesting leaves about this size from, all spring and summer last year. Now, I want to move these into the soil because the root gets considerably larger and the leaves can get, like I said in an earlier video, about the size of my head. So let's take a look at the root system on the chard that have been in my aquaponics all winter long. Now that doesn't exactly have a giant root system on it, but as you can see, the plant itself is doing quite well. And I'm betting that when I put it into soil and give it that wonderful southern sun exposure, this is going to go just gangbusters for me and start producing lots of chard that my kids can start putting in their lunches. Let's take a look at some of the others. Slightly better root system on this one. Nice healthy looking plant. Now none of these aquaponic shards really developed a huge system, but my bacteria is still in the early stages. And these suffered a very, very cold winter in the greenhouse. I don't think that one made it. Compost bin for you, my friend. Now I'm just going to root around in here and make sure I've got all these little bits of dead root from the ones that didn't make it through the winter. Good compost fuel. Now here, hiding behind my Folgers buckets, is the chard that was in the soil last year. Let's take a look at its root system. As you can see, it's a considerably thicker base. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Alright, I'm just going to clean this off and then we'll head out front. Now some of you might remember this multi-stage compost system that I've got going here, and it's moments like this that really pays off. It's too early in the spring to consider actually turning last year's compost pile for this year's compost soil, but what I have here is a whole bunch of good quality fresh compost set aside from last year, ready to go for my early plantings. I'm just going to fill up this bin and we'll be on our way. Just look at that soil. Just look at that beautiful soil. That makes for happy plants. Some of you may recall this bin from last year's 10-cent tomatoes. We had Old Germans, black crims. Those didn't do very well. I wasn't very happy with the black crims. Sweet gold cherry tomatoes. Now these were delicious, and they did alright in the aquaponics, but I wasn't able to keep any alive through the winter. We found these green zebra tomatoes. Those were really cool. They never really went red as they got ripe, but they did have a very interesting flavor, and their appearance of just the green stripes was very interesting. Made for a nice change in salads. But what I'm going to do to get this ready for the Swiss Chard I'm putting in it this year, obviously I'm going to have to take out the tomato roots that are still in here, and I'm hoping it's thawed enough to do that. Let's find out. It's still pretty moist, but it's definitely thawed. Gotta love that good earthy smell that goes along with gardening. Already getting excited and looking forward to the various things I'm going to harvest this year. Well, that one had a good root. Get that out. Now, I could take the time to sift all this, but I'm not going to. That's why I brought the compost. So we'll just put those tomato roots aside for now. Top this up with the fresh and waiting compost. Give it a bit of a mix so the two soil types kind of blend, and it spreads out that moisture a little bit more evenly. I don't know why I bring the claw. I always end up using my hands for this stuff anyway. Alright. Now, we have our chard plants from the aquaponics. A couple of smaller ones, but I suspect they'll get big soon enough. And of course, the monster from last year. This has got a pretty sizable base, so I'm going to feel comfortable to bury it fairly deep. Well, as deep as I can in this bin anyway. But I want to try and make sure those roots are pointed down to prevent something called J-root, which can basically kill off the plant. So once I get it in there, I'm going to pull it up a little bit to get the soil underneath it and help point those roots down. And I'll just put these smaller three in the front. And that's pretty much done for the year. I'll need to water it a few times, and I'm going to grab some mulch left over from last year to put on here to help reduce any weed growth. And help keep some of that moisture in. I may live in Canada, but it's kind of desert-like here in the summer. So I'm going to get that mulch and be right back. Last year's bark mulch, ready to go again this year. And that's done. Well, there you are. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.